You just got hit, and now the other guy's insurance company is calling you with a settlement offer. And it sounds tempting. That's money that you didn't have before, and you don't have to involve lawyers, and you can just move on with your life. But here's what they're not telling you. Once you sign, that ends your case for good. Even if your injuries don't get any better, even if they get worse, once you sign, that's it. I'm Max the Axe, the gold standard in personal injury, and I've seen countless clients of mine get offered these lowball offers early on before they talk to a lawyer. This video is going to walk you through when those early offers actually make sense to take and when it's better that you wait, talk to a lawyer, and save yourself tens of thousands of dollars. This is so you can protect your rights, you can know the real worth of what your case is actually valued at, and you can prevent making a decision that you'll regret later. What really happens when the other driver's insurance calls you in Texas? Let's get right into it. After a car accident that's very clear that the other guy's at fault, it's not unusual at all in Texas to get a phone call from the other person's insurance company. A lot of people are caught off guard with how quickly it happens. Sometimes it can be the day of the crash or the day after, and people are very surprised to get a phone call with someone offering them money. And the money can be extremely tempting. Oftentimes they may offer $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 when you have medical bills, property damage, and other issues that you have to deal with. But here's what's really happening here. It's the insurance company's job to save the company as much money as possible. They want to take advantage of that by contacting you as soon as possible before you talk to an attorney. They don't want you to talk to anyone who might give you a clearer picture of how much your injuries are worth when it comes to a settlement. Let's say that you get a phone call from the adjuster of the other person's insurance company, and they'll tell you straight up, we'll offer you $5,000 to resolve your case today. You don't need to talk to a lawyer. Of course, that sounds like a lot of money at first. That's $5,000 that you didn't have yesterday, but it's not always to your benefit. The insurance company knows a lot that you don't, how much these injuries are really worth in Texas and elsewhere. They also know that once you sign, you can't come back later if your injuries get worse or become permanent. 2. Risks of accepting an early settlement in Texas. Now let's talk about what can go wrong if you accept that early settlement offer. As I mentioned before, once you sign, your case is over for good. After you sign, it doesn't matter if the pain stays and gets worse. It doesn't matter if you find out that your neck pain is actually a herniated disc that you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life. You won't be able to ask for more money. After you sign on the dotted line, your signature is final, and that's the law. I've seen this happen to too many people here in Texas. I had a client once, and we'll call her Maria, who got injured in a car accident that wasn't her fault, and all she felt was a little bit of knee pain. After the insurance company offered her $5,000, she thought to herself, well, my knee is only a little hurt. The money sounds pretty good. We'll just go with the offer. 2 weeks later, after she signed her name, the knee pain didn't go away. It actually got worse. She needed a lot of physical therapy and eventually needed to have knee surgery to help fix the tear that was in her knee. She had no idea until much later how severe her injury was. At the time of the accident, she just thought that she had a little bit of knee pain and the $5,000 sounded pretty good. And the worst part is, even after her surgery, she couldn't go back to the insurance company to ask for more money, to tell them that the injury is actually a lot worse than she initially thought. Her acceptance of that early settlement offer ended up costing her tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is why the Texas law allows you to claim things that you can't see right away. These include things like pain and suffering, physical impairment, and medical bills that you might have to pay in the future. You never have to accept the first offer, no matter how urgent the insurance company makes it seem. Why the first offer is usually too low. Let's talk numbers. Insurance companies are businesses, and they're often very good at math. Their first offer is never the best offer. In fact, it's usually just a starting point to get the negotiations going. They're hoping that you'll jump and say yes at the first offer without figuring out how much your injury is really worth. Imagine that you break your arm in a car accident. The insurance company offers you $4,000. But that doesn't really take into account having to go to the doctor, having to get a cast, getting the cast removed. You might need physical therapy, the pain and suffering that you endure through all of this process, missed time from work. That $4,000 really doesn't add up to much. And sometimes these costs alone end up being double or triple what the insurance company is offering you at first. I had a client here in Houston who we'll call James, and he was about to accept the first offer from the insurance company, but his wife insisted that he talk to a lawyer first. He listened and decided to pause signing anything with the insurance company until he saw the doctors and figured out the full extent of what his injury was. After we took over his case, we were able to settle it for over 10 times what the insurance company had offered him. In this case, his patients and his wife made all the difference. Also in Texas, you have the right to ask the insurance company for a detailed breakdown of how they came to that number. How much of it is for medical bills? How much is for pain and suffering? How much of it is for physical impairment? And you're always allowed to push back on those offers. You can negotiate. It's your right. Especially when you don't know the full extent of your injuries or how bad it's going to get or if it's permanent, you should be negotiating with the insurance company to get their number up as high as possible. How medical issues can show up later. One of the trickiest things about these car accident injuries is that the injuries themselves can be very sneaky. Something that starts out in the first couple days as just a small aggravation, a tightness, a soreness, can turn into a permanent injury as time goes on. You might notice that the pain just won't go away, or it gets aggravated when you move in a certain direction. These kind of symptoms, like headache, nausea, confusion, disorientation, that could be a sign of a traumatic brain injury. And if you have numbness or tingling in your arms or legs, or shooting pain that goes from your neck down your arm or your lower back down your leg, that can be a sign of a permanent injury or a herniated disc in your spine. I cannot tell you how many clients I've had that start out with just feeling a little sore in their neck or their back, and then weeks later they feel like they can't even get out of bed. And if they had already accepted an offer from the insurance company, they would be on their own dealing with those new symptoms. Texas gives you 2 years after the accident to file a lawsuit against the defendant. This is because lawmakers know that it may take some time for the injuries to show up. You have plenty of time and you don't have to rush. Take the time to see the doctors, figure out the true extent of your injuries, and know the true value of what your claim is worth. The paperwork trap. What you're really signing. When you accept a settlement, the insurance company will send you what is called a release or a release agreement. Most people just see a complicated legal contract, they go to the end and they sign their name. They're happy to be done with this whole process, but what they're really signing says that they can never, ever come back to the insurance company to ask for more money, even if the injuries get worse or they need new medical procedures. Here's a real example. I had a prospective client call my office who had recently signed something with the insurance company only a few weeks after her car accident. She took one of the first offers, signed the release, and thought that it was all over. 2 months later, she gets a letter from the hospital that she went to saying that all of her bills have not been paid and she still owes a bunch of money. And because she had already signed the release agreement with the insurance company, she couldn't go back to them and say, hey, I found this other bill that I owe because of the car accident. Can you guys pay this too? Unfortunately, she had to deal with that bill herself. Don't let this happen to you. If anyone ever sends you a contract to sign, get a second opinion from a lawyer before you sign it. Because in Texas, once you sign that contract, your options disappear. How talking to a personal injury attorney can help. You're probably thinking, well, of course a personal injury attorney wants me to call them. But here's the truth. Sometimes the offer is good, and sometimes you should fight back. A Texas personal injury attorney can help you figure out if this is a good case to fight with a lawyer, or if the insurance company's offer is still pretty good and maybe it's better to save the hassle. The best part is, consultations with personal injury lawyers are often always free. We can talk you through your case, look at the offer from the insurance company, and tell you what you get when signing up with us. If the offer from the insurance company is fair, we'll tell you so. If the offer isn't fair, we'll help you push back against the insurance company and ensure that you get more money in your pocket than if you had just accepted the offer in the first place. This is something that I do with all of my prospective clients who come to me with an offer already on the table. I make the guarantee that we will be able to get you the same amount of money or more in your pocket, even after all the attorney's fees are taken out, even after all the costs of court and all the things are taken out, that you get the same amount of money or more in your pocket from signing up with us. Anything less than this would be unethical, and I wish more lawyers made this guarantee. Because the truth is, insurance companies know what's fair. They keep the truth from you intentionally. And when a lawyer finally gets involved, they start to be a bit more reasonable. I've watched offers that are sent directly to the client all of a sudden double or triple as soon as we get involved. It doesn't cost you anything to ask for advice from a personal injury attorney, and it could save you tens of thousands of dollars. What to do if you're feeling pressured or confused. The most important thing from this video is don't let the insurance company rush you to make a decision. They might give expiration dates on their offer, saying that this offer is only good for 24 hours or 48 hours. You don't need to listen to this. While that may be technically true, they will always re-extend the offer if you asked. Remember, you have the control here, and they are underestimating you because you don't have a lawyer yet. Here is what you should do instead. Number 1, never sign anything that you don't fully understand. Number 2, never give a recorded statement without talking to a lawyer first. This is something that the insurance company asks you to do, but you can always say no. Number 3, keep track of your pain, where it's located, every doctor that you've seen, and any time that you miss from work. If you are feeling pressured, just tell them, I need more time, and hang up and call someone you trust. You don't have to go through this alone. In Texas, you have rights. There are laws out there that protect you if you know how to use them, when it might be okay to accept an early offer. I'll be honest with you. There are some times that make sense to accept the offer from the insurance company. For example, if your accident was truly minor and even weeks later you don't feel any injuries and they're offering you money for injuries, it might be best to take the offer. But you always need to be sure. Or if you were hurt, but you've made a full recovery already, 100%, just like the day before the accident. In those cases where you've recovered 100% from your injuries and you've only seen the doctor once or twice, it might make better sense to just take the top offer from the insurance company. But you need to be sure. I always tell people, make sure you see a doctor and you go at least 1 full week without any symptoms before accepting an offer from the insurance company. This amount of time, about 1 week, will give your body time to know if there's anything wrong or if you feel like there's anything different from the crash. If you're 100% certain that you've made a full recovery, it might be best just to get things over with by negotiating with the insurance company directly. You always want to double check before you sign anything that's final. Summary and what you should do next. So, should you accept an early settlement offer from the other person's insurance company after a car accident in Texas? The answer is be careful and don't rush. The first offer is almost always entirely too low, and you can do better by just negotiating with the insurance company yourself. However, you may not know the full impact of your injuries until weeks or months later. You want to give it time to see the doctors and fully understand the full extent of your injuries. Remember that once you sign that release, your case is over. The smartest thing you can do is wait, get the proper medical attention that you need, and talk to a trusted Texas personal injury attorney that can help you before signing anything. That one decision can save you tens of thousands of dollars and a lot of stress and headaches. If you found this video helpful, you should definitely check out our next video, Should I Take Photos and Videos After a Car Accident in Texas? This video is packed with practical tips that can either make or break your case. Don't miss it. It could be the difference between winning or losing your injury claim. I'll see you over there.